What up, y'all? It's Krazy K here. Gonna do my Monday Night Raw predictions for tonight. I predict as Big Bryson Reed and Braun Baker, after what they did to Seth Rollins last week, Paul Heyman bringing him in and being the mastermind that he's been, a Hall of Famer, a legendary, the mastermind for over 40 years in the management business, bringing out Big Bryson Reed and Braun Baker into their own destination and their own team. I think the Usos. Oh yeah, please hit that music because they got one more, four letter. Yeah, the Uso penitentiary, as the Usos need to get some payback and revenge against Bryson Reed and Braun Baker for what took place last week to show them there's only one and only greatest tag team of all time, and that is the Usos to get their revenge on Bryson Reed and Braun Baker tonight for last week on Raw, continuously, possibly to Survivor Series or a Saturday main event tag team match in, and then put into the Survivor Series match as well. I think that's going to bring out the beast Brock Lesnar as Paul Heyman is the mastermind to lead this new team now, which will allow all the ones to go in the air for the OTC as the family always stick together, as the family outfit doesn't matter their differences, the bloodline is always sticking together. The greatest bloodline family of all time in the WWE. The greatest family, I think, in the WWE is the Bloodline. And that would put Roman Reigns to take on Brock Lesnar. One, they have history. Two, the Usos got unfinished business with Braun Baker and Bryce Reed, not only for tonight, for what happened last week on Raw, but also for what happened the last match that they had and Roman Reigns at Clash in Paris against Brock Lesnar. Just icing on the cake with the history that they have towards Survivor Series. So that's what I think is going to happen. Usos get some payback tonight. Brock Lesnar going to be part of the team. Roman Reigns will return next week. We got ourselves a Survivor Series start of a match. I think our world champion Seth Rollins going to find out if he's good enough to go to Survivor Series or will he be out for a while. And what's going to happen with the world championship belt? That's the question right there. I think that also, with that being said, I need to know is mommy's nose okay after that Japan black eye, possibly a broken nose. For Rhea Ripley, I think should be fine. We'll see mommy either tonight that she's okay, or at least next week on Monday Night Raw when she's fully okay, as she's healing a broken nose, possibly. Mommy 100% okay, ready for War Games. I think that Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne, they won a tag team championship opportunity. I think that they would bring into, with Rhea Ripley being okay, the Kabuya Warriors still not done. As you saw it happen last week on Raw, Rhea Ripley owes some payback against the Kabuya Warriors for attacking her last week. Of course, she's got may or may not have a broken nose, what did happen. Japan match, Io Sky could have her back and make sure it's even against the Kabuya Warriors what happened last week on Raw, let alone continue to possibly Saturday in a Survivor Series match. Because Raquel and Roxanne could take advantage of the situation, which means Mommy and Io need to call up a couple people and get some payback, get some revenge. Not only against the Kabuya Warriors for last week on Raw, but if Raquel and Roxanne pull anything tonight as well, as they're the Judgment Day, they had their share issues with Rhea as well, and Io Sky, and just being the dominating team on Monday Night Raw to prove that. We got ourselves a women's Survivor Series match as well as the men's. So that's what I think is going to happen. The Usos getting some payback against Bryce Reed, Braun Baker. World champion Seth Rollins. It matters if he's okay, or we're going to have a world championship tournament to declare the new men's world champion until Seth is okay to come back, claim his throne. And Roman Reigns, I think, is going to lead and against Brock Lesnar. That'd be good seeing their history breathe back into reality after a few years of that with Roman and Brock, and the Usos just getting a little bit of redemption off their back. And just because what happened last week on Raw, and then also winning a match, just because what happened at Clash of Paris, showing that they're the greatest tag team of all time, including Roman, just getting a break and share that history with Brock would be better than anybody to bring out the best in Roman, as they share a lot of history. So that's and also Rhea and Io just getting their revenge against the Kabuya Warriors, because obviously they're not going to stop. They want to take it extreme. How about War Games to finish it once and for all? And the greatest of all time women's wrestler needs to prove that, remaining Intercontinental Champion against Maxine Becky Lynch. Needs to do that, get her mojo back to prove why she is the greatest of all time women's wrestler. And with that being said, I think that also AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, AJ Styles and Dragon, they have a opportunity to become Raw Tag Team Champions tonight. That could happen. Or the Judgment Day finding another way to remain Tag Team Champion. Either way, I think it's going to be an incredible match. I love tag teams. Especially AJ Styles and Dragon Lee in there in the Judgment Day. We're going to see some high fly. We're going to see my athletic skills. We're going to see a hell of a tag team match with that going on. I think that Dominic is going to remain Intercontinental Champion against Rusev. And we're going to have a Rusev versus Penta match. Of course, Penta gets revenge what Rusev did last week to him. Taking it to maybe a Saturday main event singles action throwdown. So that's what I think is going on with everything. With that being said, be sure to watch, like, follow, subscribe on Instagram and YouTube. Be sure to comment, subscribe, add me on Snapchat. See my page for new subscribers. Story for returning subscribers. Check out my other Raw and SmackDown predictions. Check out the commentary. Thank you guys for that. Joining in on Instagram and adding me on Snapchat. Give y'all a shout out and also appreciate the involvement and the togetherness. We're in Sacramento, California tonight. Anything is possible in the WWE. Got the Raw results that will be on WWE Comics. Monday Night Raw podcast. It will be a podcast covering all the pay-per-views. Updation, redoing that this week like I do. And then including Raw recap. Whatever happens tonight as well. So be sure to look on that. With my other WWE Comics, with my other Before and After podcast, with my other WWE with KZK comments. For my videos, Raw recaps, including SmackDown, WWE, NXT, pay-per-views, and before and after that podcast, give you updation, and obviously the Raw video itself. And then Korean KZK page and story where everything and anything is available with the predictions, with the WWE Comments results, with the Raw recap, with the before and after that podcast. It's collaborated and it's together, so you know where to see my other podcasts is, you know where to see my other Raw recaps, you know where to see my page and story for predictions and videos. And the podcast for updation, obviously the game stream has Crown Jewel just passed, Survivor Series on its way, Saturday main events coming up. I may or may not play a few matches for a Saturday main event since there's only a few that should happen. And then the Survivor Series, I'll do that one obviously for our main pay-per-view like we do. So I'll play some extra matches since they're in Japan, along with the Crown Jewel and the other pay-per-view matches. And then I did some Hall of Fame and extra matches, you know how I do. We'll get to the Saturday main event when that happens. Matches, also the gameplay, the predictions, the commentary, the results. And I will be there live at Survivor Series, so be sure to look out at my other videos, check them out, as this one's going to be live as well.
Come on, girl, get out of the bed.
So with that being said, Green Kids Gal. Make sure you follow, subscribe, I'm on Snapchat, Green Kids Gal. Peace. Really?